This is James Holder for iFull TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella. We've just witnessed Saul Canelo Alvarez capture the WBC title over Miguel Cotto. First and foremost, what's your initial reaction to the fight, Matt?
I thought it was a good fight. It wasn't like a war, but it was an entertaining boxing match where, you know, there were some good exchanges, lots of clean shots landed. I was impressed with Cotto's movement. I thought, he 35 years of age, the movement for the 12 rounds to keep going the way he did it's just like poetry in motion, isn't it, at times when he's in a groove. But also, Canelo boxed really well too. You know, I thought his hand speed was, watching him up close was noticeable. Really sharp, counter left hooks, good jabs to himself, worked the body well. Yeah, good fight, and it's probably, Canelo's obviously, I think, going to go on to be he's a superstar anyway, but he's like, he's stepped up to that elite level now, hasn't he? And I think Cotto, I'd like to see Cotto retire now. I mean, he's got nothing left to prove. He's achieved anything. He's made loads of money. One more, he's a Hall of Famer. Where, you know what I mean? Where does he really go now? I think he goes out in a super fight, in a good fight. I think a couple of the scores were a bit too wide. I thought it was about 116, 112. But yeah, good fight. I think, like I think Canelo goes on now to be a superstar, and hopefully Cotto retires.
Second massive pay-per-view for Canelo in terms of the Mayweather one. This is probably the biggest one he's had since then. No, the Kirkland one done all right numbers, but in comparison to this is massive. Do you think this has put him onto that elite world stage now, and he can be classed as one of the pound-for-pound sort of best around at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, he's always been a big draw with the Mexicans and the Hispanic. He's a very popular fighter. But like you say, I mean, when he fought Mayweather, it was kind of a super fight, and he wasn't quite ready for it. Listen, Mayweather's Mayweather as well, but he looked like he wasn't ready for it, didn't he? Where tonight, it was like his second go at it. I think maybe that was why he was so emotional afterwards, because he goes to another level now. I think he goes from being a star to a superstar, and one of the biggest draws in boxing now.
Would the Triple G fight, in your opinion, be appealing to him and his team at this moment? GG's such a monster. Middleweight may not be his natural weight for Canelo, but he's now the WBC champion. Do you think that fight is a potential fight that can happen next, or the fight after?
I don't see it happening next. I mean, I know we said it after, but when you're high on adrenaline, you can say anything. You know what I mean? And emotions are running high on that. But I don't think so, because that was a massive win from, like I say, it was his second super fight. Every fight Canelo has is going to be a massive fight from the one where. Golovkin needs Golovkin needs Canelo more than Canelo needs Golovkin, and he's given away advantages. He can still make 154, I'd say, comfortably enough. Canelo, I mean, he's big at the weight, but he can make it. Where I think going up to fight Golovkin at 160 pounds, I just think he's giving away a lot of his advantages, and I also just think Golovkin's just a killing machine at a middleweight, and he's a good fighter. Technically gifted, top class amateur. And he's in his probably prime, where Canelo's probably going to get better. So I just think it might happen. It could happen. Maybe they can find a way to make it work for everyone. But I don't think so. I think Canelo's got enough options at sort of 154 that he probably doesn't need to go up there.
Miguel Cotto, do you think his performance was good enough to continue, in your opinion? He looked sharp, his movement looked good in spouts, he was landing some good combinations, but do you think he's achieved enough, or do you think he will look to continue from here on?
He definitely could continue, because it was such a competitive fight, wasn't it? You know what I mean? He was still on his toes in the 12th round. He looked sharp. He's a legend, isn't he? Miguel Cotto, Hall of Famer. He's top draw, but he's made that much money. He's won that many world titles. He's gone through the weights. He's been involved in so many big nights. What does he need to do? Not so much where does he go, because of course he can compete. That was a competitive fight, but I don't where. I don't see what challenges are left for him really now. I think that's a good note to go out on. He lost in a competitive fight against someone that's probably going to go on and carry the torch as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters and one of the biggest draws in boxing. So I think it's a good note for him to go out on, a good time to go out.
Last question, did you enjoy the fight?
Yeah, I enjoyed the fight. Like I say, it wasn't a war, but it was a very entertaining boxing match that ebbed and flowed. Both fighters looked like they might get a foothold, then the other one would come back, and I thought it was an entertaining fight.
All right, listen, thank you for your time, Matt. I really do appreciate it. The press is just about to start, so I'm going to go get involved, and I'll catch you in a little bit. Top man, thank you, Matt.
Cheers, mate.